Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to put shaders into your Garry's Mod map. So it's recently been discovered in all source games. I guess in most source games it works. It was a previously undocumented shader called Screen Space General, and it allows you to load in external custom shaders. So these shaders work they're like pixel shaders, but they also work for brushes, models, overlays, decals, particles, at least these things. The problem was that they weren't allowed in Garry's Mod yet. The workshop did not allow them, the whitelist didn't, and just today they were allowed. So I figured I would show you all how you set it all up and get it all working. I'm going to leave this link in the description. This is Fickle's GitHub page, and he's really the one who put all this together. Here you can learn all about the shader and learn how it all works. I don't really read this super in-depthly. I just know how to set it up. So GitHub's, if you know how to use GitHub, good. If you don't, whatever. It's always confusing. Just go to code here and press download zip, and then you will download this file called SDK screen space shaders main, and you'd want to extract this, but I'm just going to show you in here for now. So you have shader source, materials, and VS Code. You want to so in the shader source, you will have all the raw code files for the shaders. Now these shaders are written in a code called HLSL, and there are two main shader coding languages. It's not really a coding language. It's just a kind. They're written in C. But there's HLSL, which is DirectX, and there's I don't remember the exact name, but that's OpenGL. The other one's OpenGL, and this is DirectX. And this is a difference that you want to know because they're fundamentally different. Now, I have zero idea how to write a shader. All I know is at least some of the things in the shader is different because it's source. And so Fickle kind of writes a couple things down here about how to like convert the things. Actually, he writes how to convert. Oh, it's GLSL. He documents here how you can port it a bit easier. So I'm gonna show you a couple things that can be made with these shaders just before I show you how to set it all up. First video I'm gonna show you is this one. Fickle's made a lot of cool shaders that aren't actually public yet, but here's one of a displacement moving like how the water does in Half-Life 1. And this is all done with the shader. So all these vertices on the displacement are moving up and down based on a shader he wrote. Fickle also got parallax corrected cube maps to work with this method. He said it's a lot of it's much of a hassle right now to set this all up, so he hasn't made it public yet. However, this is possible with the shaders, which I find really cool. We also have this vertex shifting effect that you see in old games from, I guess, the PSX era. Here's a cool GUI thingy he made here. It's a speedometer with some dials and gauges, which is always cool. And this is all possible just with the shader code. Here's a custom PBR shader. Look how much better this looks. It's pretty awesome. Here's a video where the sprites have little dirt particles in them. You can see that here, and it looks really nice. Looks like there's dirt on the screen, or little smudges, like spit. Um, and just imagine all the possibilities with this. You could make so much. You can make so many things, and they're all now. This is all in GMOD now. You can pack this into your map, and you could use these custom shaders to make something really, really cool. Alright, so now that I've showed you what the shaders can be used for and the possibility behind all of this, actually, one more thing. These shaders are not as powerful as they could be. They're using an older shader version, I believe, which is not as powerful. They can't have as many loops and some other things that make it a lot harder to make really complicated shaders. But it still can be used to make some cool and powerful things. Beautiful things, really cool things. There's a lot of possibilities here. I'm going to be showing you now how to set it all up. So once you've downloaded this file, you want to go to shader source. So in shader source, you have all your raw code files for all these example shaders that Fikul gave us to play around with. So like if I opened this one called Black Hole, I'm not actually sure what this does. I haven't tested all of these, but you can open this in Visual Studio Code, not Code, just Visual Studio. I mean, you probably open it in the Code one too, but either way, you can open this up in Visual Studio. Maybe it'll open. Well, normally you will be able to open this in. I'm not sure what version of Visual. This is very interesting. Either way, ignore this. You can open. You can open up the shader files in here, and you can edit them and do what you want if you understand how shaders work. I don't, and I don't know if I'll ever learn, but I tried, and it is very complicated to me. Either way, you can open all these files up here and edit them, or you can make new ones. They are HLSL, like I said earlier. I'm not exactly sure what the underscore PS2X does, but I would just add it just because that's how all these other ones work. It probably says it on the page. You can read up on that. I'm not sure. So these are the raw code files. That means that these shaders have not been built yet. So you need to build them. And how do you do that, you might ask? Well, it's easy. They're cool. It's awesome. And he included these bat files, which will build the shaders. So there's two here. There's build single shader, and how you use this one. You pick any shader you want from here, and you can drag it on, and it'll build a shader. If you don't want to do that, if you have a crap ton, you can just press or open up the build shaders bat, which will compile all of them for you. You see here? It's compiling all the shaders and turning them into actual shaders that the game can use. So once you build your shaders, it should make a shaders folder in this folder. Open this, and you have FXC. And then here are the actual shader files that the game can use. And these are VCS files. Again, I have no idea what that means. There's some sort of shader file, but they're here. So with these shaders, you want to copy and paste them into your Garry's Mod, and then Garry's Mod lowercase folder. You just want to put them into here. And I already have them here, so I'm going to skip it. But shaders, FXC, and now you have all your shader files in your game. Now, on their own, the shaders don't really do anything because they have nothing to apply to. Now, Fikul has also supplied some VMT files for the shaders to use. So these are under materials, effects, and shaders by default. You can change where these shaders go if you really want to, but I recommend just copying this materials folder and putting it into your Garry's Mod folder. I'm going to skip again because I already have it, but it's materials, effects, and shaders. And these are all VMT files, and if you open them up here, you can see they're using this shader that you may not have ever heard of. It's screenspace_general. And this is that undocumented shader I was talking about at the start of the video. This shader allows you to load in a custom pick shader, and it'll use that shader with whatever these parameters are. I don't know. I haven't read up on them, but some parameters here, and it'll actually display the shader. And I find that really cool. So you have all these VMT files now that use these shaders. So on the GitHub page, there's a I think he explains what all this stuff in the screen space general does, but applying the shader, there's this whole section here, and if you go in here, if you easily want to test it in game, just to make sure you did it right. Copy this command here. No, that's a file path, my bad. Let's see. Right up here. Usage, not applying the shader. Usage. You want to copy this command here, which basically sets SV cheats to 1, and then displays a screen overlay with the example wave shader on it. That we put in our materials folder earlier. So open up Garry's mod. Once you're in the game, you can just open up the console and paste that console command we copied earlier. And then once you press enter, it will apply the material to your screen. As you can see, this shader makes your screen really wavy and interesting. Now, you can also test out the other shaders in here. So I actually want to try the black hole, because I don't know what that is. So I'm pretty sure we don't need the SV cheats anymore, because we already set it to 1, but if you want to keep it, that's fine. So r_screen overlay is setting the screen overlay to whatever you put here. So I think if we just put none, I don't think that's an actual like parameter, but if we put none, it'll just get rid of whatever's on the screen. So we're going to go back to here, only grab this part, and I want to set this to example_black hole, which is the other material here, just to test to see what it does. Alright, clearly that did not work. Alright, let's try a different one. I'm not sure if it was just this or I typed something in wrong. Alright, I guess the black hole shader just does not work. But here's another shader called depth, and this is just, I suppose, displaying the depth. There's something with the depth buffer, I believe. I'm not exactly sure what the depth buffer is. I'm not super knowledgeable in the graphics field, however things render in the game. But I think this is what that's doing. Let's look at another one here. We got hearts. Let's see what this one is. Oh, that's cool. So you have a bunch of hearts that are in the scrolling pattern, or displayed on your screen. And this is the power of shaders. You can do a lot of things. You can have all these images displayed on your screen. And I think this is actually pretty cheap. Like, it's not very demanding. Do I have a... No, I don't. I feel like Construct is very gray right now. Anyways, it's really cool. I'm gonna test one more out. Let's do the glitch. I don't know what that one is. Nope, I did not type that in. Alright, let's try again. Glitch. Alright, so that's really cool, you see? We have this kind of 3D glasses-esque glitch, 3-color, I think it's called chromatic aberration. I don't know if I'm right about that. Either way, it's a cool effect, and it really just displays what you can do with shaders. So, now that you have everything set up, if you want to know how to put them in your map, it's basically the same as how you add any asset to your map. You just want to pack the file. I will show you actually. Alright, so in Vide, I have a separate tutorial on how to pack assets into your map. But you just want to go up here to the lump editor, you want to open your BSP. I think I had a test BSP in here earlier. I have lots. Gobbledygook. Let's see what this one is. I don't really care. You want to go to add up here, and then you want to find both your shader and the material for the shader. I also will say that to my knowledge, the only publicly available shaders for Garry's mod that I know to work are the ones that Fikul provided. I know there are other people working on their own shaders in the Garry's mod Discord, and I'm making this video early, just so it's more of a let's say not a cautionary. It's a preemptive. It's just to get the news out that this is coming soon, and you can use this right now. Technically, there's not many things made for it, but I just want to put this out on the table so that everyone knows that shaders are here and shaders are in Garry's mod. So if you're watching this in the future, which you probably are going to be, there's probably going to be a lot more publicly available shaders that you can use. And I'm really hoping that there are going to be some really cool things that mappers can utilize to make their maps look better, like the parallax corrected cube maps. So in Garry's mod, you want to go find your material for your custom shader, which, using the Fikul ones, they're in materials, effects, shaders, and then you want to find whatever shaders you are using in your map. And for screen space shaders, or pixel shaders, I think, the ones that literally just display, so all of these ones in Garry's mod are pixel shaders. They're not on a material. This is a screen overlay, and a screen overlay is literally just a plane, a flat plane that is in front of that is exactly over your screen, and the effect is being applied to that plane. And so that's a pixel shader. All the pixel shaders can only be used, well, again, I'm not very knowledgeable with shaders. I might be wrong about this, but all pixel shaders are for screen overlays. So in your map, you would use an env screen overlay to actually display the shader on a player's screen. So, actually, I will just show you real quick. So here's a screen overlay. I was testing this earlier. You would do just effects, shaders, example wave, and that's it. That's literally it. You just put the VMT in here for the shader you're using, because they all have VMT files, and so you'd want to pack every VMT material for your shader that you're using. So let's just say, for sake of example, I am just using the glitch effect. If you're using multiple, you want to pack multiple. Okay, so when you go to pack your file, actually, you want to press OK, and then you want to remove all this. So it should be under materials, effects, shaders. This is the relative path. Okay, so you're packing both the shader material, and you want to pack the shader itself. So if I'm using spin, actually, if I'm using spin, I want to go find the VCS file, the shader file itself, and I want to pack the spin shader alongside the VMT. So you want to go to Garry's mod, shaders, FXC, and then you want to find your spin shader, which is this one. You want to press open, OK, and again, remove all this because FIDE is annoying. So it would be under shaders FXC, example spin PS20B. It should look something like this. And then you would just save your BSP. So now your BSP has the material file for your shader and the shader itself. And you should be able to upload this to the Garry's Mod workshop and have the shader work in-game. Currently, the shaders only work if you're on the dev development branch, the dev beta branch of Garry's Mod. In the coming future, in this month at least, it should be pushed at least to the x84 branch and the main branch, and then the game will be updated, and then it'll be for the masses, and then people playing your map can actually will actually be able to see these shaders. But for now, use this month to experiment, and we'll see where all these shaders go, and really what people make. I hope that this all worked for you, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If in the future I find some sort of, I might even make my own repository of shaders that I find, that I get permission from whoever made the shader to use. Because the way I see it now, I don't think these shaders are going to be easy to find. I mean, I feel like they're going to be very nestled in Discord servers, that and you're going to have to do some real digging to find them. And I think that if someone, it doesn't have to be me, it could be anyone, if someone makes a publicly available, not archive, but just repository for maybe not every shader, but a lot of shaders that someone can just go download and then use whichever shader they want, I think that would be great. It's a very confusing time for shaders right now, and this whole process. I mean, I've been mapping for almost 5 years now, and I know the source engine pretty in and out with files and how everything works, and this stuff is way confusing for even. I'm not saying that I'm like some holy fucking source wizard, right? No, I'm not. But I'm saying that I have more. I'd say that I have more knowledge than the average mapper, and it's the average mapper that I would want to use these awesome shaders and really make something awesome. But the average mapper won't know how to do all these things, and that's why I'm making this tutorial. Most people don't even know these shaders are a thing right now. I mean, for one, they're not even really public. They're hidden in the Garry's Mod Discord server, and you have to be active. You have to be looking at all the next update and the commits to the game. You have to be really looking out for these things, and most people don't do that, and that's fine. I don't expect people to. I do it because I'm interested and I mod this game and I love this game. I love making things for this game. So I just hope that this video really gets beginner mappers, or mappers that, like me, that have zero experience with shaders, zero experience, or even just a tiny bit of experience with code. I just want to get those people in a right spot to use these shaders and use them effectively, use them well in your maps. So if there's enough shaders around, I will start. If there's enough shaders around and it's not already being made by someone else, I will make a repository. If I get around to it, I'll make a repository for a bunch of shaders. And I might even make a follow-up video to this, where it's just like me explaining how to use different shaders, because shaders can be used for all sorts of things. You got these pixel shaders right now on my screen that are warping my screen like this, but there can be shaders for brushes. You saw the parallax corrected cube maps. There can be shaders for brushes, and I have no idea how those work, but I can figure it out, and I can show you guys. You can have shaders for decals. You can have shaders for models. I mean, you saw the vertex jitter for the PS1 effect. That's on models. That's a vertex shader. And these things are so cool, but I don't know how to use them. Many people don't. If I learn, and there's actual publicly available shaders, then I will show you guys. anyways, that was kind of my spiel. I think this is gonna go far. It's very unlikely that this is just gonna lead nowhere. It's another reason I'm making this video, just so more people are aware. More people who know shader code might see this video and be like, oh, I can make shaders for Garry's Mod now. I'm gonna figure out how to do that. And I'm gonna make some really cool shaders for mappers and modders to use. That's what I want. I also want just the general public, I guess not the public in terms of the GMOD player base and developer base, to know that this is a thing. This is happening. This is available to all of us to use. And I just think that's important. So, yeah. I guess that's all I have to say.